Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening and welcome everyone to EESA International STEM Conference 2021. We would like to honorably welcome Ms. Rosmawati binti Shafi'i, the Electrical Engineering Student Association Club Advisor of UITM Dungan Terengganu. First and foremost, my name is Adriana Atika and I will be moderating tonight's event. Before we begin, let us officiate the ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, we shall now be playing Malaysia's national anthem, Negaraku, and UITM anthem, Wawasan Setia Bangsa. Please mute your mic for the duration of the anthem as a sign of respect. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I would now like to invite Tengku Nur Izzuddin to lead the Doa recitation.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Oh Allah, thus belong to you. You deserve all thanks. Thanks to you for your continuous favors. Ya Allah, Ya Alim, Ya Hakim. Please bring us out of the darkness of doubt and favors with the light of comprehension. Allah, open to us the door of your mercy and unfold for us the treasure of your knowledge by your mercy. Oh Allah, the most merciful of the merciful ones. Oh Allah, make useful for us what you have taught us and teach us knowledge that will be useful to us. اللهم جمعنا هذا جمعا مرحوما وتفرقنا من بعده تفرقا معصوما ولا تجعل اللهم فينا ولا معنا ولا من يتبعنا شقيا ولا مسودا ولا محروما ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Amin, Amin, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Thank you, Izzuddin, for the Doa. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor now. Welcome, Professor Technologist Dr. Mazida Putih, the Rector of UITM Terengganu, to officiate our conference. Prof, is your mic on? Please turn on your mic.
Oh, sorry. I will repeat from beginning again. All right. Okay.
It's all right.
Okay. Thank you for Miss Moderator tonight. Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, dear participants. It gives me a great pleasure to extend to you all a very warm welcome on behalf of University Technology Mara, Terengganu branch, to the EESA International STEM Conference. I must applaud everyone here and say how extremely proud of UITM to have our students, specifically our Electrical Engineer Student Association, that is EESA, of organizing this collaborative program in which they have put together an engaging program for a remarkable diverse crowd. We are very grateful to the global participants who are sharing our similar interests and passions to quench the thirst of knowledge and explore more about the progressing world of the STEM field. It is high time that such an event took place to highlight the remarkable contributions which this field make it so many areas. As Nelson Mandela said, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Education in STEM field would be steps for people to gain knowledge, critical thinking, empowerment, and skills they need to make this world a better place. As such, we are indeed honored to contribute to it and be here with students and professionals from around the globe. I would like to refer also to the many initiatives that have taken place in order to make this happen. A glance through the list of presentations planned reveals the amazing diversity of the field. The implementation of STEM education has been an intensifying factor in creating exceptional graduates with manageable creativity and critical analysis skills, which the present world needs. Ultimately, these skills are the catalyst to help shape future generations to be strong pillars that will uphold and meet the requirements of this advancing world. It is a significant issue to be the spearhead leaders in the world that demands the best innovative solutions and face unknown challenge of the future. I believe that the pursuit of knowledge in its very nature is vast and endless, and each opportunity that presents itself to fulfill our thirst for intellectual curiosity should not be taken for granted. Therefore, a program like this is extremely prominent, and we urge all students to take part in other than classroom learning opportunities. Not only does it stimulates the students' thought process a lot better, but it also helps students harness their soft skills. It is hoped that all participants here will gain new knowledge and perspective from our distinguished panels. Before I hand over the baton to the organizer, let me quote what Martin Luther King said. The function of education is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically. Intelligence plus character, that is the goal of true education. When you develop critical thinking, you no longer take things for granted. You start questioning why things are the way they are. You learn about people who saw something wrong and had the courage to do things differently in their personal lives or lead a nation to an impactful transformation. Yes, you need courage and tenacity, but when you get an education, you start realizing you can make a difference too. Okay, I sincerely hope that you will enjoy this knowledge sharing and multiple possibilities of networking. In concluding, I wish you every success in your deliberations. Thank you for your participation. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof, for sharing such remarkable words with us. We hope that we can hear more from you in the future. Our invited speakers, ladies and gentlemen, today we have over 100 guests joining us from across the globe. We aim to bring forward direct insights and fresh perspective on the globally progressing STEM field to both aspiring young minds and experienced professionals. Our invited panels of speakers today are consisting students from Malaysia, Abu Dhabi, Turkey, Mexico, USA, and Egypt. They will be highlighting the different approaches of STEM education, as well as shedding light on upcoming career demands in STEM. While in the sharing session, we understand that some questions may arise among the audience. Therefore, we hope fellow participants to keep the queries to yourselves, as we will open the floor to any queries at the end of the sharing session. Without further ado, we would like to invite our first speaker, Shah Izzati Afzal binti Shah Irwan Shah from Malaysia. Shah Izzati is from the Electrical Engineering Faculty of University Technology Mara and happens to be the president of Electrical Engineering Students Association.
Okay, can you see my slide? Is it clear? All right.
Yes.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Professor Dr. Mazida Putih, it's really good to have you here tonight. And a very good evening to my fellow Malaysians, and I hope all the international viewers are having a good day. It's good to have you all here in this conference. So first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Shah Izzati Awzan binti Irwan Shah, as the moderator have mentioned before. And everyone usually calls me Asha for short. And I am your representative for Malaysia. I'm currently taking electrical power engineering in UiTM Terengganu, Dungan branch. And also I'm currently residing in Sabah, which is at the east side of Malaysia. So first of all, first things first, here's a get to know me kind of slot. It's just a brief and something that I don't normally share to others, and not many knows about this list, which basically explains my personality. So I'm a vegetarian. I play sports such as golf and I like to swim. I'm very, very fond of horse riding as well, but I'm not that active in horse riding. I also read a lot of non-fictional books and I write poetries if I have the mood. I listen to classical music and also indie rocks. I'm a very family-oriented person. I may look a very extroverted person, but I like being alone, actually. So yeah, that is all about me. So as you can see here, this might be a not that important kind of slot, but these are like my experiences and achievements back in high school until 2021. So as you can see here, I'm just gonna make this brief because this is not I'm not highlighting this. So I've been to international abacus meta and calculation examinations and competitions, leadership team building camps, some programming camps, Australian mathematics competition, youth empowerments, poster making, iQuiz challenge, Oxford, and then in 2018, I joined Sabah State Science and Maths Olympiads, KK Law Olympiads, Singapore and Asian School Math Olympiads, just the boring ones. And then in 2019, I entered uni in 2019. I've joined a few events, programs. I've joined the Electrical Engineering Innovation Competition as a committee. I was a committee for National Sports Month Committee, National Sports Month, also a bowling participant. And in 2020, I was elected as the president of EESA, which is Electrical Engineering Students Association. I joined a lot of workshops because we were having, the pandemic started. So I joined a lot of online workshops. And also in 2021, I was a debating instructor, more like a tutor. I was also a C programming tutor, and also I've joined a lot of exhibitions online. So what I want to focus on this part, although it's not very, very important, is that these experiences are not related to electrical engineering fields, because as you can see, I involve a lot of leadership, art, youth empowerment, and also Olympiads that are far from engineering. So to me, what I want to tell you guys is that this technically means that you don't have to be in a situation, in this particular situation, you're going to be the same one tomorrow. So the next one is, okay, so in this conference, like we've said before, we'll be highlighting the approach of STEM education, or for my slot of this presentation, I will be focusing more on electrical power engineering since I'm currently taking that course. And also we'll focus on the learning structures of engineering in my university later on. So first we'll start with a general overview about what there is in the electrical power sector in Malaysia. So first of all, the demand. Okay, just a disclaimer, every information that I will share to you is merely based on internet research and also classes that I attended. So if there's any mistakes or wrong information in whichever part I'm presenting, I'm terribly sorry. So let's get to it. As you all don't know, actually the demand for qualified engineers in Malaysia is in fact increasing. And this may be an understatement, because to some people, we all know that the minimum wage in our country does not seem acceptable. However, this is a fact. So as you can see here, there are the top 5 engineering fields that are high in demand in Malaysia are listed. The first one is mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, civil, and then electronics, chemicals, and then the list goes on. And also the engineering fields engineering fields in Malaysia that requires expertise are electric and electronic, E&E, oil and gas, ONG, mechanical engineering, and also chemical engineering. So the reason why the list actually requires expertise is that these sectors are big industries in Malaysia, and they provide the power energy to consumers throughout the country. For example, we have the company TNB, Tenaga Nasional Berhad, SSB in Sabah, Petronas, Shell, and also Petron. So for students who are interested and wishing to succeed in the engineering field, there are three aspects that needs to be considered because, okay, I think I'm going to elaborate first. So first things first, you need to choose a university that has the experiences and the facilities, because in the power sectors, you must acquire technical experiences and lab performances. And in this case, you need facilities to actually fully equip all the necessary appliances. So for example, for the natives, for the Malays, anak Sabah and anak Sarawak, they're very lucky to have the privilege given by the government, where us natives can actually enter UITM, which is our university, which is a government-based university. And we have branches in every state, and all courses are provided, courses and disciplines, basically. And fees are super cheap, and selected students will be financed. And also next, students must acquire soft skills. For example, for this part, I want to focus more on the English speaking environment, meaning the English proficiency, because most companies out there, they prefer candidates whom at least could speak in English, and not being fluent is not a problem as long as you are able to speak and understand, but being fluent is a bonus because in this sector, it requires a lot of studying and also leadership skills. It is required, especially when you need to lead a team to do a specific task. For example, in SESB in Sabah, when you have a degree, they will give, if you have a degree and you work there, they will give you a slot that wants you to actually lead a team to do a specific task, although you have a degree only. So it is on and off grid. So it is actually a very important aspect of soft skills. And also the next one is communication skills. So communication skills is actually crucial, as our executives wouldn't want us to be shy at work, as unable to fully provide service to the company. So basically you need to stand out and learn to do this in your uni days, because in your uni, you can join a lot of curricular activities. For example, me, I joined debate, which has actually improved my communication skills a lot. Not that okay, I'm very average. To me, I think I'm very, very average when it comes to communication skills, but it actually helps. And this can also help you in the long run, not just in your career. So that is all for this slide. So next, on to the second one. So I'm sorry, I haven't finished the other one. Sorry. Okay, so attend internship programs. Okay, about this internship programs, I'm not pretty sure about other unis out there, but I'm sure that UITM, our uni, has standardized internship programs to specific STEM-related course, like our course, Electrical Power and Electric Electronics, to do their internships during diploma years. So this is actually a very, very good alternatives for students, and must take the chance to join any companies out there, because otherwise you won't be able to graduate if you don't attend internship programs. And that is a fact. So next up, okay, this might not be an interesting fact, and the informations here are very, very unexpected, because turns out the engineer population ratio for Malaysia and several other countries, the population ratio for Malaysia is the widest, and which explains why there is an ongoing process in increasing the production of engineers at a very, very significant rate in order to achieve the index. There's an index for the engineering sector. So one of the reasons why we're still behind schedule is that there are other related fields that are yet to be increased. So the listed ones here, I'm terribly sorry, let me move that. So the other related fields that are yet to be increased is biomedical, computer engineering, instrumentation and technology, marine technology, mechatronics, software, and process. These are the ones that are not that famous, I would say. Yeah, not that famous in Malaysia. So yes, that is all for this slide. Let's go to the next one. Okay, there are, in Malaysia, we have three main electrical energy distributors, namely in Sarawak Energy in Sarawak, SCSB, Sabah Electricity Sdn Berhad in Sabah, and TNB, Tenaga Nasional Berhad, which consumes 80% of the power sector in Malaysia. I learned that in my class. So these are the top three, the top distributors. How do I remove this? Okay, so this one, as you can see, the picture, these pictures are mainly from Google. You can actually find this on Google. This one, Bakun Hydroelectric Power Plant, is in Sarawak. And then Manjung Thermal, this is thermal power plant, which is in Perak. I'm not good with maps. Okay, next up, Sandakan Biomass Power Plant, which is a 7 hours drive from my house. And also, this one is a Samaidan is actually a company, because I couldn't find any, I did my research, but I couldn't find any large scale solar that are under government, that are government wise. So Samaidan is actually a very, very big company in renewable energy in Malaysia. So I took theirs as an example. So these are the other energy generating power plants in Malaysia, because the ones that we focus on in Malaysia is actually hydroelectric power plants and also thermal. So that's why I put it in here, the electricity generation in Malaysia. So these are the other energy generating power plants in Malaysia. So we're done with the power sector. Yes, that is the power sector. So now we're going on to the tech sector. And I really, really want the Part 2 juniors or maybe high school students or metrics or SSC to focus on this part and understand this lot. As most of you are unaware, we are the Society 5.0, and which means a super smart society focusing on intelligence. And this is why we are at the stage of Industrial Revolution 4.0, where developments of subsectors happens. So first of all, the growth outlook for tech sectors right now, this is worldwide. So first of all, the Industrial Revolution 4.0 is mainly the development of subsectors. So first of all, we'll go to the development of subsectors such as Internet of Things, IoT, artificial intelligence, AI, and electrical vehicles, EVs. So let's go through one by one. Internet of Things, IoT. Okay, this one we focus on monitoring or manage in real time. This is something that you can Google out, but this one is a very, very crucial aspect that us, the engineering, the STEM sectors are like focusing on right now. And then the artificial intelligence, actually studies shows that Malaysia is still not ready yet to succeed in the AI race. And Malaysia must first improve its readiness, because AI and IoT itself is not that quite famous in Malaysia, so we cannot proceed to artificial intelligence yet. And also EVS in Malaysia, most of the cars that are EVS cars in Malaysia are actually from overseas, such as Renault Zoe, Renault Zoe, BMW i3S, and also Mitsubishi IMI EV. For the record, Tesla is not available in Malaysia yet, and that is one of the examples examples of EVS. And also rollout of 5G networks. Okay, about this, Malaysia will fast forward 5G rollouts to the end of this year, and it'll be in a race. Like the companies will be in a 5G race in the Bursa stocks of the holders. If you play Bursa or stocks, if you look at stocks like my family do, the companies that are gonna go for the 5G network race is Huawei, Maxis, Axiata, and Digi. Those are the ones that are trying to grow the 5G networks in Malaysia by the end of this year. And also the ramp up of semiconductor components and equipment. So this one is just mainly the famous companies, for example, Intel, Samsung, Hynix, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Corporation. Yeah, only them are going for the ramp up of semiconductor, but there are Samsung and also Intel in Malaysia. Just a general information. But in Malaysia, there is not much outgrow on the company that we have right now. It's just quite small. So this sector is quite general globally, but in Malaysia, it's still quite slow. So yeah, that is for your general overview. And I think these are the ones that you need to do more research on, because if I were to explain everything here, it'll take 3 hours for that part. So next, oh my God, why can't this move? Okay, so, okay, these are the stock company, the top Malaysian energy company that are in the stocks, that are in the race of stocks. For example, Solarvest, Saipark, Resources Berhad, Samadan Group Berhad, Plus Solar Systems, and Perkasola. These are the ones that are, okay, for some Muslims, we don't dare to actually do stocks, like play these kind of stocks, because we don't know, because we need a halal background of company. So these are the ones that we can do, we can go for, we can invest for. So yeah, if you are interested in Bursa, like stocks, like my family, the energy and power sector that can help you gain more profit is these, because I see them a lot of, most of the time they explain about Saipark and Samaidan and Solarvest. Those are the 3 favorites of my family. So yeah, these are the listed ones. Okay, so we're done for the esoteric knowledge part. So here's the next slot for this presentation, where I'll be showing you guys, or flexing, my resort campus in UiTM Terengganu, Dungan branch. So as you can see from this picture, this is our campus. This is from a drone. These pictures were taken from a drone. So yeah, it's quite nice. It's a very, very nice, like right in front of the campus, it's the beach. It's just the beach. And it's very, very beautiful, and it's very, very hot. It's very, very hot. So when I first entered this in 2019, I'm actually fair, as you can see right now, due to pandemic. So I just stay at home. I got sunburn back then. So yeah, it's quite cool. It's like Hawaii. So let's go to the next page. So first of all, the library. The library here is very quiet. But when it comes to afternoon hours or lunch hours, it's quite full because it's really, really cool inside. So people will usually enter, like get in the library and just cool themselves. And there's like laptops, the computer rooms and books. There's actually a lot of books, and right until the last day of me being there, I still don't know where the engineering section is. Like, I don't know. It's quite confusing. So most of the time I just use the e-library instead. So this is a brief picture. It's actually quite big. Yeah, it's very, very big, but it looks small in pictures. So that's all for our library. And then students' dorm. We have a lot of dorm actually, and it's quite far. The distance from one dorm to another dorm is actually quite far. And if you ask me where's the male and female dorm, I can't actually explain that much because sometimes it changes. Like my dorm, my previous dorm, it was actually before that it was the male's dorm. Then when it comes to my session, my semester, it was a female's dorm. So it kept changing a lot. But as you can see from this upper right picture, this is actually an exquisite dorm. It's in Duyung. It's called Duyung. Duyung means mermaid, in case y'all are wondering. We have like a few names that are beach and island related. So Duyung is actually an Pulau Duyung. It's an island. Yeah, it's an island, mermaid island. So we call this mermaid dorm. And it is like this most special one because it's very, very nice. It's very, very conducive. The view is great. Like the view is right in front of it is straight up the beach. So you get you get an exquisite sunrise view every time, every day, every single day. So the rest are quite far. So there weren't any views that you can actually look at, but it's quite nice because the other dorms are quite big. There's like two people rooms, 3 and also 4, the normal ones. So that's for the dorms. And cafeteria and football. Okay, the reason why I put football is that every single time there's a game in Malaysia, or maybe the league, Super League. I don't watch football, so I don't know. So the ones that, you know, like Manchester United, Chelsea, those kinds. Most of the time at night, the cafeteria will be filled with boys. One time, I don't really eat at night. I don't eat dinner. So one time I accompanied my friend to buy food at the cafeteria. There was a game and I was scared because there were many people shouting because of football. So this one, yeah, they put this LCDs and it's quite big. The cafeteria is quite big, but most of the time it's not enough to fit everyone. So yeah, even me myself, I usually buy the food and just eat it in my room. And this is actually a hotel. The upper left is actually a hotel. So just so you know, the hotel in UiTM Dungun, in our uni is quite cheap. The food's there. I've had tea break, and also breakfast there, and it's quite nice. The workers are most of them are students in our uni as well. So that's on cafeteria, and we have a mosque. UiTM Dungun Mosque. We call it Pusat Hidayah. I did not think of translating it in English, but we call it as Pusat Hidayah. So this is the mosque. I couldn't find a better picture, but yeah, this is what I saw on Google because we didn't took any pictures for this. And these are, yeah, these are like us inside the mosque. I'm sorry, these are the only pictures that I have, and also in Google, because we didn't spend a lot of time in uni since pandemic started during our semester 2. And also sports facilities. Just the normal ones. Badminton court, tennis court, what do you call ping pong court, and we have this field with an astaka there, and also club golf desa. It's a golf club, so most of the time, not most of the time, every Thursday I will go with my senior business student senior to play golf every Thursday evening. But sometimes if I have exams and I don't play golf, because to me, golf is something that is very, very stress relieving thing. And also the amazing part of UIT I'm doing is that we have a gym. Yeah, we have a gym, and it is very, very specific too. One gym is for male and one gym is for female. So the Muslims can actually easily do their workouts without being worried there might be, the unexpected things to happen. So yeah, we have a gym, but I've never actually used that facility yet. Just a bummer. I could have just used it before. And then curricular activities. There are a lot of curricular clubs that we can enter in uni. So yeah, for curricular, we actually have to wear this a uniform. Yeah, a uniform. It's standardized. Everyone has the same uniform. Semester 1 will have to go attend their curricular activities on Mondays, semester 2 on Tuesdays, and semester 3 on Wednesdays. And semester 4 and 5 you're actually free. But during this pandemic, the semester 4, we have to replace our semester 2 because the pandemic outbreak started during our semester 2, so we didn't actually have curricular activities. And we've joined a lot of there were a lot of activities as well, like major cycling activities. What do you call that? What's the name again? I forgot the top right part. What's the name? Oh, frisbee. Yeah, it's a frisbee tournament. We have a lot of tournament back then, and I joined a lot. I was a committee to most of the events. And also the debating team. Yeah, I had to put this picture here because I don't want to forget to explain to you guys that we have debating team and also debating nights, something like that. So we usually do it something very extra. As you can see, we wore some extra clothes I don't usually wear clothes like this, but yeah, there are things that we do very, very extra in uni. Depends on the clubs, but the debating club is most of the time goes very, very extra in their events. So next up, okay, this is the highlights that I want to tell you about UITM, especially in Dungun. Every place is actually a photo shoot material kind of spot. As you can see here, every night, sometimes the moon is very, very beautiful. The moon is always beautiful. I can't deny that. And also the beach, there's also this one, like at the end of the beach, there's actually this one part, there are like a lot of rocks. So you can actually take pictures like this one. Oh my God, sorry. Like this one. And also back in the days, we actually have like class pictures, class photos. So this on the left, below left, yeah, this was actually us preparing for a class photo shoot. We were actually the last batch to actually have a class photo shoot, so we were very, very lucky. And this picture, the upper left is actually just a normal spot that people would usually take pictures at. And then that is probably the highlights there. And also, okay, for this part, I will explain to you guys about what we actually did right before, like what we actually did back in when pandemic didn't happen, and the pandemic didn't actually happen. So at first we have like orientation weeks. So orientation weeks, most of the time we'll be at this huge cold, really cold hall right here on the top left. And then we will have to actually wear, like we have this one particular day, we have to wear same white clothes and black bottoms. But for the females, we actually wear skirts. And also a lot of, for this whole week, orientation week, we never actually studied. But we had exams, if I'm not mistaken. So it was quite shocking. And we played a lot of pizza parties, a lot of playing, having fun with the friends. So orientation week is actually a fun week, but yeah, that's like the first thing that you'll do if you enter UITM if COVID did not happen. So next up is our faculty. Can you guys see? I think you guys can see. Faculty of Electrical Engineering. So for my faculty, FKE, we have actually two codes, yeah. EE 101 means your code for electronic students, and EE 112 for power students. So these are, yeah, we had like class photos here. This is probably I think a lot of unis actually, I asked the seniors, my seniors, they turned out they never actually had pictures. So I think we were like the first after so long and the last to actually have class photos. And this one is the top left is actually our club, faculty club, which is EESA, EESA. So these were us and our seniors, which they've graduated and now they're in degree, and some of them are still here. I hope you guys are happy that I insert your pictures. And also here, the middle part is actually our family day. So we have, the bond is quite amazing with between like with each other. And this one, the reason why I put my friends here is that I want to show you guys our clothes, actually, our attire, our uniform for engineering students. So this one on the upper right is actually our corporate shirt. I'm not wearing that tonight, but because I'm wearing a blouse. So that is our corporate shirt. So any official events, we will be wearing that. And also the two pictures at the bottom is actually our lab coats. So every time you have labs, like we have labs once a week. So if you have labs, you have to wear this, and also you need to wear a colored one. And it's actually a rule that you must follow. So yeah, if you once you guys enter uni, especially my juniors, it's actually you will have to go for fittings so that you could get yours, but you still have to pay for this set. You must have these two actually for FKE. So that's that. Next up is, okay, so physical to online classes. So
excuse me, Asha, I would like to remind you to make it short to not over time. Yeah.
All right, I'm sorry. Okay, so physical to online classes. Back then, yeah, physical, we had classes physically, now online classes. So most of the time, when it comes to labs, we use softwares to do simulations, and also classes we usually get lost because there's like a lot of classes there. So we have a map to refer on, and that's a funny fact. Okay, next up, electrical laboratory. So yeah, we actually do this, handle all of this physically, but since we're doing online distance learning, so we use simulation softwares instead. And also wiring and machine drives. Back then we do wirings in, actually we could do it in our uni as well, our campus, but I think it was in renovation, so we had to do it in another uni. So we took a bus to go there to do our wirings. And test and mini projects. So test and mini projects, just normal ones that we're doing it via online. Yeah, I think that's normal to all students out there. So yeah, this is my last one, I think. Faculty dinner 2019, FKE's dinner, Night of Us Youngsters. We had a theme there, Night of Us Youngsters. So these were the here. And do I have time, moderator?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so I'm sorry, there's I'm sorry, could you guys hear that background?
Yes. Yes, we can.
Okay. I'm sorry, that's someone else's phone. I'm terribly
It's
sorry.
okay.
This is our dinner video. Okay, this is the last one. I think this won't take long, but this is the last one, I promise. Okay. So I just want to show you guys our preparations for dinner back then, because I know we won't be having any dinner right after this because we cannot have like events, like big events such as dinner, faculty dinner. So I just want to show you guys like a brief picture of what we've done during our last ever dinner with our senior. So I hope you guys enjoy it.
Malam pesta muda-mudi bertamasya dan menari suka ria dalam.
Okay, I guess we're done for today from my part. So that is all from me. I'm terribly sorry. I think I took a lot longer than I thought. So yeah, terribly sorry, Marita and everyone. And that is all from me, I guess. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed every single bit. And I hope to hear from you guys on the Q&A session.
Thank you very much, Shaizati. That was a really brilliant sharing, and you have made so many UITM Dungun students that hasn't went to Dungun before really want to go there even more. And I hope that the students are inspired to be someone like you, a very active student in university. Thank you very much, Shaizati. So now we would like to continue with our second speaker, Akshat Tatle from Indore, India. He is currently pursuing his studies at New York University, Abu Dhabi, where he plans to major in computer science.
Okay, I hope the screen is visible. Yeah. Hi everyone. My name is Akshat Totla, and I'm really glad to be a part of the panel today at the EESA International STEM Conference. So yeah, let's get started. Before everything else, let me introduce myself a bit. My name is Akshat. I'm 19 years old. I'm originally from India, but I'm currently in Abu Dhabi, UAE. I just finished off with my first year at NYU Abu Dhabi, and I'm planning on majoring in computer science and doing a minor in economics. Other than all of this, I enjoy doing outdoor spontaneous adventures. I love petting dogs, and in my free time, I also enjoy making YouTube videos. Okay, so before starting off with my university journey so far, I think giving you guys a background of my high school journey would really help because it really helped me discover my passion and interests. So throughout high school, I was really engaged in STEM, which actually helped me make my decision for pursuing STEM in college better. So I founded a robotics club at my high school called Da Vinci Club, and it was majorly aimed because there was no robotic education at school level, and we wanted to do something and like make practical things out of the things we learn in school. So we started this club. It grew from like 2 or 3 members to like around 50 members, and then it got funded by the school. So that was pretty cool, and it was all the workshops and competitions that we had, that was really fun. Other than that, I've also been a part of my school's senior science fair team. I was a presenter and researcher at the team, and we submitted like around 2 to 3 research papers and worked on multiple projects relating to energy, sustainability, and like implementation of technology throughout all of these sectors. And we actually did win a couple of competitions, and we secured the second position in the international science project contest. So that was pretty cool. Other than that, I've also been, was also selected as a Global STEM Academy's scholar in 2019, where I got to spend 4 weeks in Brazil pursuing STEM and intercultural education, which was really, really fun. So yeah. Okay, let me now talk about the university I am in currently. It's called New York University, Abu Dhabi. It is one of the 3 branches of New York University. NYU originally is based in New York, but it also has 2 campuses in Shanghai and in Abu Dhabi. And all of these 3 campuses are entirely independent from each other, but they still are connected by the NYU's global network. So why I chose NYU Abu Dhabi? Now, the reason I majorly, so NYU AD is a liberal arts and science college. That means that is it it follows the American curriculum of education, college education, and that gives a lot of flexibility to me to choose and explore different majors and different minors before settling onto one. And so that means that I can pursue like 2 entirely different subjects together. Like I can do a double major in say mathematics and music, which are very different from each other, yet because of my interests I can pursue both of them at the same time. So I love the freedom that I get through this education. Other than that, NYU AD is also very diverse. I think it's probably one of the most diverse universities in the world. It has more than 110 uh, countries represented on campus. There are people from over 110 countries, and it's always fun to expand my social circle and to like talk to people from different countries and hear about their experiences, because that actually like truly makes me a global citizen in a sense that I understand the different issues and different viewpoints of people from around the globe. Also, NYU AD gives out amazing scholarships to international students. They are one of the very few universities in the world that give out full ride 100% scholarships to international students. And that's also pretty cool. And also NYU AD is a part of NYU's global network. So I get to spend my semester abroad at any of NYU's 14 global sites throughout the world, which can be either NYU London or NYU New York or NYU Sydney or NYU Paris or NYU Berlin. All of these different campuses of NYU around the world, we're all interconnected. So that gives me access to a lot of resources that help me throughout the education. Okay, now I'll focus on to my major, which is computer science. So computer science at NYU AD. Now, I think it is similar to almost all other universities in the US, but it also has a lot of things which are very unique to only NYU AD. So first of all, at NYU AD, computer science and computer engineering, both of these are two different majors. So CS, it's more focused toward the software aspect and like algorithms part of computers, while computer engineering, it's more focused on the hardware and IT part of computers. And these are two different majors. And I'm planning on majoring in CS because I enjoy softwares more. So I think that made the call for me. Other than that, so we have class requirements. We have to complete 14 major classes, which are CS classes. And other than that, we also have to complete 4 minor classes. So minor can be in any subject. It could be mathematics, it could be music, it could be economics, it could be literally anything else. And we also have to complete core requirements, which are basically classes which are interdisciplinary. They don't focus on one major. They focus on building like soft skills, like writing skills, like group work and all of that. Right now, for the entire past year, all the classes have been online for me because of the pandemic. But the first semester, I spent that at my home, while the second semester, right now, I'm on campus at the uni. So it's just better to be surrounded by people and for the ability to like make friends and group work and all of that. So it's just better to stay on campus. And I think CS is one of like CS is a major where group work and collaboration is very important. You constantly need to talk to people. You constantly need to like collaborate and do teamwork. And I think that is a part of almost all of my classes. All of them have this element of group work and projects, so that you end up applying all of the knowledge that you gain into like practical applications. We also have a Unix lab, which is basically a resource for CS students. So all the third year, the fourth year students who are pretty experienced in the field of CS, they usually are there at the lab, and you can just go and you can help. They can help clear your doubts, so they can help you with coding of assignments or labs, so that if you're stuck somewhere, they basically help you get through it, and you don't really need to go to your professors, because I think peer-to-peer interaction is it's more informal, so it's more independent, and you get to learn more outside of the class, and Unix lab basically does that. Also, other than this, so everyone at NYU AD, despite their majors, they have to complete a capstone research project at the end of their 4 years. So in your fourth year, you have to choose a research question, a research topic of your choice inside of your major, and then you complete the research of that entire topic throughout your last year. And you get a mentor, you get advisors who help you throughout this process. But this is like very exciting. So you get to choose a research question that actually interests you and piques your curiosity. So yeah, that is also very cool. That is also very interesting. Now, out of all of these aspects, now outside of class, there is a lot of other stuff that helps like complete the experience of a CS major at NYU AD, and I think research is also a big part. So there is a very high focus on research at NYU AD, and there is a ton of research which is happening like throughout the year. A lot of my professors who taught me in class, they're also researchers, and they're working on their own independent researches throughout. And there's multiple labs and centers that focus on specific areas of CS. Like there is a cybersecurity and privacy lab, which looks at ethical hacking and IT security and all of those issues inside of CS. They also recently published a research paper building an unhackable chip, which basically helps them protect various classified information. Other than that, there's also a data science and AI lab, which uses data throughout, which is available on the internet, and predicts various trends and happenings around the globe. There's also social machines and robotics lab, which helps build smart devices which can help us in our daily lives and research various applications of these. Other than research, there's also student clubs. So there's a ton of student interest groups and clubs on campus for almost anything. Like if you have interest in a specific field and there's no club, you can basically start your own club. So that we have all of that independence. There's more than 50 student clubs founded on campus and led by students. The ones that focus on CS, there's Hack AD, which is a tech and hacker culture club at NYUAD. It's Hack AD doesn't mean like hacking. It's more towards hackathons and all of these other or building solutions for problems in CS. So they organize annual hackathons and workshops that teach different programming skills to students of all levels. So that's so everyone gets knowledge which actually is applied in the field. We also have algorithmic problem solving club, which is basically applying all the concepts and all the techniques you learn for data management and for problem solving in class, and you apply them on algorithmic puzzles and challenges. This is very similar to how job interviews work in the field of tech. So that helps prepare them for job interviews. Now this was like an overview of how CS works at NYUAD. Other than that, why would someone want to pursue CS right now? What's the future in CS? So since I'm in Abu Dhabi right now, the UAE, the major cities in UAE, Abu Dhabi and Dubai, they are growing startup hubs right now because there's a lot of focus on developing and solving problems through local startups, and there's many fintech and SaaS, which is software as a service startups, being founded in Dubai and Abu Dhabi, and there's a lot of jobs that are being created because of that. Also, there's a very high focus of venture capital in the UAE, so there's a lot of funding that is going to all of these startups so that they can not only focus on the UAE but also expand to different parts of the world. So that is a huge growing trend in the UAE right now. Other than that, CS is probably going to be involved in almost all industries in the future because all of them are going to be automated, and automation is going to be a huge part of that. So be it manufacturing in factories, there's going to be robots and smart softwares which are going to make sure that there's as low errors as can be. There's for operations and services, there's going to be algorithms that optimize them to the best level that they can, which humans potentially cannot. So all of these technologies, they are going to use CS at the end of the day. So tech consultants and all of these different tech consulting companies, they're going to be at the peak of their operations by then. Also, there's new technologies coming literally every year. So there's AI, which is artificial intelligence, there's machine learning, there's augmented reality, there's virtual reality, there's blockchain. And all of these new emerging technologies, they're literally changing the world. They're changing the way we interact with the world. Currencies like cryptocurrencies and digital currencies, they're a huge thing right now. And some people speculate that they might end up replacing conventional currencies that we use. And all of this digital currency, it's run by blockchain, which is a sector of CS. So to be able to understand these new technologies and to be able to work with them, CS would be really helpful. And other than all of this, if you actually end up like getting a degree in computer science, CS doesn't mean just coding or just building complex softwares. CS is basically code in problem solving. So you learn how to solve something which is complex, you break it down into small parts, and then you solve all of them effectively and efficiently. So CS basically teaches you to do that. And that is why a lot of graduates who graduate with a CS degree, they end up working in non-CS fields like finance, banking, management, and all of these fields, because their core of problem solving is very strong, and that helps them become really good at other jobs as well. Okay, I mean, I'm pretty sure all of you have seen a couple of these companies. These are like the major companies in tech, and I'm pretty sure you've seen Facebook, which is like a social network. You've seen Huawei, which is an electronics company and a tech company. You've seen IBM, which builds computers, and they've been built various different system parts for enterprises. So all of these companies, they do very different things, yet they are still covered by this big umbrella term of tech or CS. So that means that you do not restrict yourself to just like one sector after graduating. You can pursue different things which interest you through different industries inside of tech. Like Oculus is a company which is building VR headsets. so that you can experience different things while sitting at home. Tesla, which is very popular right now, it's an electric vehicle company, and they're building vehicles that are powered by electricity rather than gas or fuel. GoPro is a company that builds action cameras and all of these interesting products for when you go out on adventures. Um, Cisco is a company that builds network securities and Wi-Fi's. Intel is a company that's building microprocessors and semiconductors. Google is literally everywhere. You use almost all of their services. So all of these companies, they basically signify that there's a lot of diversity as part of CS. So you wouldn't be constricted to just one thing. You can explore a lot of different areas. Now, in NYU AD, I think this is like very important because I believe that a college is only as good as the jobs it can create. So NYU AD has been very helpful in helping us students be prepared for an effective career. So we have CDC, which is the Career Development Center. It's a center as part of our campus, and there's very active members who are a part of it, very active professionals who are very experienced in this field. So they help provide us with resources for jobs, for applying to jobs, for preparing CVs, for preparing cover letters, to gain internships and be connected to professionals who are already working in those companies, so that you get like a better insight of how working in that company looks like. Also, the CDC, if you actually plan on pursuing a master's degree or any professional degree as a part of graduate school, then you also get help in applying to those graduate schools. And there's mentorship which helps you like make better moves for your career, so that you don't end up like regretting something, and you don't end up just like being confused at any point of time. So there's always help for that. Other than that, there's also funding for summers. So like if throughout my 4 years I can actually apply for funding. So if I get a research opportunity anywhere in the world, or if I get an internship opportunity anywhere in the world, there is funding which can help me travel there or stay in an entirely new city. So that is also very helpful because it gives all of the students the opportunity to like go out of their comfort zone of their own cities of or of their own countries and pursue different opportunities. Other than that, there's also many programs that happen throughout the year which help us in building a professional and skill based core skills like networking and like communicating with different professionals. There's opportunities week which happens where a lot of famous big companies come in and they present with opportunities that they have, like internships or any summer programs that they're conducting. There's STEM networking where we get connected to professionals working in the STEM field in these companies, and they help us know which skills we need to be effective at those jobs. There's grad school weekends where different grad schools from around the world present what their graduate school programs look like. There's site visits where you get to visit a company and look at what their working culture is like. So there's a ton of resources which we actually get so that we're better prepared for our career. Okay, now moving aside the entire professional and CS major thing, I'll talk a little bit about what life at NYU AD looks like. So this right here, this is one of the residential colleges, and right now it's pretty hot outside. So most of us like staying inside during the day because it gets really hot during the summers. This is what a dorm looks like. I mean, if you decorate it well, only then would it look like. But yeah, you get the idea. This place is called Marketplace, which is a place where people usually go to just hang out with friends. There's a ton of restaurants there. This is D2, which is basically a dining area where you go there to get your lunch or dinner. This place here is Library Cafe, where you go to get some coffee or just like work there. This is Baraha, which is basically like a gaming zone area where there's pool table, there's air hockey, there's like gaming consoles where you can just go and chill with your friends and de-stress a bit. So yeah, these are like all of the major hangout spots. Other than that, there's also like a ton of sports that people are engaged in. We have basketball, we have wall climbing, which is quite unique. If you're into like outdoor activities, there's football, of course. There's outdoor tracks if you're sporty. There's gym if you want to work out, if you want to build. And there's also like different types of martial arts which you can focus on. Yeah, other than that, this is what like the campus looks like. This is a very famous spot on campus called the Palms. and a lot of people just like sitting here and just taking classes from here, or because classes right now are online, so you can literally take them from anywhere on campus. So people like sitting here, and just there's a lot of evening breeze that happens here, and there's a good city view which you can get, so people like sitting here. This is what the library looks like. We usually go to the library because only majorly to work. You can't really chill or talk there. So yeah, the library is somewhat like this, and this is the city of Abu Dhabi. So outside of the campus, there's a lot of stuff that, because to actually experience living in Abu Dhabi, you have to like go outside of the campus. And Abu Dhabi is a major cultural hub. There's a ton of culture. There's a ton of different things usually happening in city throughout the year. So this is what the city looks like. The beach is like 10 minutes away, so it's always fun to go there. And yeah, okay, so yeah, that was all of my stuff. If you guys are interested in actually like applying to NYU AD or knowing any of like more details about that, I actually make YouTube videos about this. And if you guys want to look at like my experience in living at NYU AD, or all of my extracurricular activities that I did, or my academics, I've made videos about that. So you can look that up. My YouTube channel is called Aksharap, and you can search that on YouTube. So yeah, that was all for my presentation, and thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much, Akshan. I hope that there are students who have set their dreams to continue their studies in New York University, and also have the interest to study in computer science and also engineering. Thank you so much for the sharing. I hope that they can that your presentation can give something to the others. So I would like to continue with our third speaker, which is a civil engineering student from Hacettepe University, Ankara, Turkey. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Zainab Oskin to take the platform.
I was muted, I'm sorry. Can you see the slides?
Yes.
Okay. Hello, my name is Zainab Özkan, and I am 18, and I am the representative of Turkey, as Akita said. And I am really excited to hear other participants and share my knowledge. Thanks for having me here today. I will first like to talk about my achievements over the course of 7 years. I won't read all of it out loud, but I would like to talk about the mini internships I did in 2018, which were encouraged by my high school for us to choose our career better. They are all related to medicine, as you can see, and because I initially wanted to become a doctor, but after seeing an open brain surgery up close at Ankara University Numune Hospital, I decided to be an engineer. Now I would like to talk about STEM in Turkey. When we say STEM in Turkey, most people think of TÜBİTAK, which is a major scientific and technological research council formed in 1963. They deal with energy, chemistry related projects, environmental and marine sciences. They develop softwares for informatics. They also give scholarships to students. And for example, Aziz Sancar, who I will talk about in a second, was able to go to America to study at Johns Hopkins University with a TÜBİTAK scholarship. We also have TAEK, which focuses on nuclear energy. But the most important companies are Aselsan, Havelsan, and Roketsan, which are government companies dealing with military technologies. Regarding STEM, Turkey is highly developed in defense industry, and what we are trying to be better at is space technologies. We already have TürkSat, which sends satellites, but we are trying to develop new projects. Also, one of the most important STEM achievements we have as a country is Aziz Sancar winning a Nobel Prize with 2 other scientists in 2015 on their works on how cells repair their damaged DNA. And now I would like to talk about engineering in Turkey in general. Turkey is a developing country, and nowadays there are 3 popular professions to choose from, which are law, medicine, and engineering. I can say that engineering out of these 3 has the highest demand, since you can have many options. Just like problem solving, presentation skills, and time and pressure management, they are all important, but the main problem in Turkey is, I think, teamwork and communication, because of the rivalry in the country. I will talk that in a minute. So if you can work with others, you should be fine. Out of all the engineering fields, the highest demand is for electrical and computer engineering, because the public thinks that they are the jobs for the future and the development of the country, since we are in the era of technology. But the main issue with engineers in Turkey is that there are lots of universities, and every year countless engineers graduate. In order to succeed, you have to graduate from a relatively better university than others. You should know English. I mean, that's not even an argument, but if you can, you should learn at least 1 more language next to that. For example, I'm learning Italian right now. Also, while graduating, you have to make sure that you have a minor or a double major. For example, in the 2nd year, if I'm chosen, I will be able to study environmental engineering as a minor, and they choose you according to your GPA. So, civil engineering in Turkey, civil engineering in general is as old as humans, because it deals with civilizations. After people started to settle and abandon the nomadic life, without the name it has today, civil engineering was born. People needed houses, roads, and bridges, and they built it with primitive skills. And in Turkey, people don't realize the importance of this field and how integrated it is with daily life. Sometimes they don't even know the difference between an operator and a civil engineer. Operators are the people who are qualified to use the construction machinery, whereas I am the person who calculates the pressure of the water on the walls of the dam, for example. They are very different areas. Another problem is gender. People still have prejudice against women as engineers, let alone being a civil engineer. Of course, it's not like women belong to the kitchen level, but we are still underestimated, because engineering, and especially civil engineering, is considered to be manly. For example, sometimes people ask me what I'm studying, and when I say civil engineering, they look at me as if I'm crazy. They say, "Oh, but you're tiny," as if my height and muscles, which are related to my gender, have something to do with me learning physics. Right now, one of the most important issues in Turkey is the amount of unemployed university graduate young people. But I am not afraid that I won't be able to find a job, because there's always a construction going on in Turkey, whether it's at the corner of the street or it's a massive dam. You can also see the sub branches there in orange. There are lots of options to choose from to have a specialty. And if you don't like transportation engineering, where we deal with highways, railways, or pipelines, you can always go for hydraulics, where we deal with water and its behavior. And here I have listed some of the projects. Some of them are completed and some of them are not, but they are all very serious projects. For example, Artvin Yusufeli Dam is the tallest dam in Turkey, and the construction is about to end. Civil engineers are involved in every step of the process, but if I had to specify, we are the people who are responsible from the workers and operators who actually built the dam. And of course, we do some calculations and check the tests done regarding determining what kind of concrete mixture is going to be used. We direct the workers to do their job the right way. Istanbul Airport is the biggest international airport in Europe, and the construction was really challenging because of the site. The site chosen had some places under the sea level and needed to be filled. Also, the climate of Istanbul changes rapidly and drastically. There is a constant risk of flooding when it rains. So the funds were exceeded a bit, but the project was completed in time. Here, civil engineers are the people who decide the level of soil and the type of material to fill the spaces. For the sea bridges, an important thing to consider is liquefaction. And liquefaction is the case where the amount of loading on the soil reduces its ability to carry that load, or it can happen with an earthquake. It doesn't matter. Civil engineers check the abilities of the soil or the rock under the sea, the water, and determine if it is safe to build the bridge over there, for example. Izmir-Ankara high-speed train construction has just started, and even though we have many railways, we are now trying to build more high-speed ones because it takes a short amount of time to go somewhere with them, and they also reduce the fuel expenditures. Actually, my father is working on this project as a geological engineer, MSc, where he also collaborates with civil engineers. My father's job is to explain soil and rock mechanics, and if that rock is suitable to construct a railway on top, to civil engineers, and according to what my father says, they plan a project. Also, and the last project is the Eurasia Tunnel in Istanbul, which is built under the seafloor in order to split the traffic. It connects the Asian and European parts of the city. They dug the rocks and soil with a tunnel boring machine, aka TBM. And civil engineers took part in planning the stocking of the tunnel wall segments, and of course calculated and checked the concrete segments. And what did they check in those segments? The quality of the concrete, the thickness of the segment, or if the segment has enough reinforcement inside, like iron reinforcement bars. Now I would like to share some pictures with you. In these pictures, Artvin Yusufeli Dam and Eurasia Tunnel are not completed, but I wanted you guys to see the work. And now I would like to talk about the process of construction in Turkey. So there are project firms, as you can see here, who create the projects with the demands on needs of the government. They do all the work like calculations, planning, like where the project is going to take place or how long it's going to take, considering which material is going to be used. After that, they come up with a price and the bids open. This time, construction companies offer workers equipment and materials with a suitable price. Whoever has the best offers takes the job and starts the construction. I think it's an easy process. And my final points will be on my university. 2 years ago, it was ranked the first in Turkish universities. The reason would be the fact that it has many opportunities to offer to us, even though the university is run by the government and has less financial support compared to private universities. There are lots of laboratories, and I will talk about the campus life in depth in a minute. But compared to other universities, since Hacettepe has a big campus, it also has countless good quality dorms and houses students stay in. And we also have a full functioning hospital inside the campus. I myself have never experienced what it was like before the pandemic, but my friends say that lesson-wise, it is not that different. In fact, the assignments and exams are stricter. Some students think that they get distracted more when it's online, but the teachers are trying their best to make the lessons as enjoyable as possible. And unfortunately, nobody is at the campus right now. I am even more sorry for myself because I have never had a class at the campus ever since I have started university. Most of the friends I've made this year are sad that they can't go because compared to other parts of Ankara, Hacettepe has a huge campus with a lot of breathing area. It is a tiny fort on its own. Many students I have spoken to miss chilling on the grass in between lessons. And there are campus libraries and cafes scattered all around the campus. There's a really big amphitheater generally used for ceremonies and sport opportunities like swimming pools, courts for tennis or basketball fields. There's also a football field with a huge racetrack around it. And there's a relatively new part in the campus, which is this massive building called Techno City. And there are different types of developers working in it for research purposes or construction firms in it. Lastly, there are student apartments for international or students or other people from Turkish cities, as I mentioned in the previous slide. In short, the life inside the campus is easy and cheap. So if you would like to, you could never get out and it would be totally fine. And compared to other departments in the university, civil engineering is still young. And the teachers are mostly young engineers who also have experience working at various project firms, which is a plus in my opinion, because they all know the new methods and the new technologies used right now. And the generation gap between me and them are not that big, so they understand our problems better than some professors. As I said before, our main goal is to be the best, since there are more than enough engineers in Turkey. And in order to achieve that, Hacettepe teaches you Python, and for civil engineers, we also have AutoCAD. Also, in your last year, you have to complete a summer practice, 20 days in the office and 20 days in the field. I can easily say that this is what makes a project firm choose a Hacettepe graduate. Other than that, you can see the course list there that you can choose for yourself in the last 2 years of school. You have to choose at least 2 or 3 from this list and decide which way of civil engineering you can go. Since civil engineering has lots of sub-branches, Hacettepe tries to show you most of it and guide you. And lastly, to further develop yourself, you can become a member of a student society. There are 152 of them, so I couldn't write them all here, but to list a few, we have Aikido Club, Anime Manga Club, Writing Club, Translators Club, Archery Club, Quidditch Club, Far East Language and Culture Club, Space Exploration Club, and even Yoga Club. Yeah. Okay. Thank you all so much for listening to me. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer you in the Q&A session. You can also contact me if you like from these addresses.
Thank you very much, Zainab. That was an insightful session. I think that the participants are able to open their minds about civil engineering and probably would consider to study civil engineering in the future, you know? And I would like to say the campus at Hacettepe University is very mesmerizing. It's really wonderful. It's really beautiful. I'm I'm kind of interested to visit there one day. Maybe, probably, if we're able to. So thank you so much for sharing. Ladies and gentlemen, now we would like to invite Saifuddin, Saifuddin Soliman Maghori from Egypt to provide us with his insights. For everyone's information, Saif is planning to major in mechatronics at Nile University, Egypt.
Hello, everybody. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. So hello, everybody. My name is Saifuddin. I'm a freshman at Nile University in Egypt. I'm really happy to be here with you guys today. I'm gonna tell you guys, right? A second. I was planning to be a mechatronics engineer, and actually it's a very unique major in engineering that nobody or almost so many people that doesn't know about. And I'm gonna talk about it today, tell you guys more about it. So first of all, I'm gonna present myself and tell you more about myself. My name is Saif. I'm 19 years old. I'm a fan of cars. Like, I love cars really much. One of the things that changed my life and like changed actually whole my life, that I get a scholarship from the U.S. Embassy in Egypt to be an exchange student in the U.S. 2017 2018. So I had a full year studying in high school in the U.S. that actually changed all my life. Engineering in Egypt. I'm gonna talk about engineering in Egypt, and as most of people know that Egypt from really old days, since the pharaohs, and they built the pyramids, they were so special in engineering. So like they built the pyramids, and it's still a secret till now that nobody knows about it, how they built it. So like in engineering, we're really like kind of unique. So the most or like the types of engineering in Egypt, we have civil engineer, mechanical engineer, electrical engineer, chemical, architecture engineer, computer, petroleum engineer, aviation engineer, and industrial engineer. Um, I'm gonna talk about it right now. Like mostly the demand in Egypt right now, it's going through electric engineer and computer and mechanical engineer more than the petroleum. We used to be high. We used to have a high demand in petroleum engineer in the past few years, but right now we're going through the future and having so many changes. So we started to have a good demand on the electronic and mechanical and the computer engineering. Also, like in Egypt right now in Aswan, south of Egypt, we have the highest solar energy panels in Egypt, or like in Africa, that make energy for like the countries and like that. So I'm gonna talk about right now about my university, Nile University, and the majors that we have and what's special about Nile University. We have the majors. We have mechanical engineer, civil, electronic, and computer engineer. It's like one major, industrial and architecture engineer. I'm gonna talk specifically about mechanical and mechanical engineer. We have the types of mechatronics, thermal and science energy, mechanical design, and power engineering. Uh, so what made me choose mechanical or like mechatronics than the other majors of engineering? For myself, I choose mechatronics because I find it a really collection and a really, as you can say, unique, that it's not common in the world. It's really unique and combines all the majors like mechanical, electronic, and computer engineering. And I'm gonna tell you guys more about it right now. So as you can see, mechatronics, it's a combine between electronic, electric, mechanical, and engineering system, computer, and controlling. So like my father is an electronic engineer. My grandfather was an electronic engineer. So many of my friends are computer engineering. And at the first year of engineering in Egypt, it's 5 years engineering in Egypt actually. You get to decide what major you want to be in the first year, in the second year, sorry. So like right now, I still in the freshman year, I didn't have to choose, but I decided to be a mechatronics. I thought about it so many times, sorry, that electronics engineer, I like it, and I like the circuits. I like how solar panel works. I like how electric works, and the computer, I like how the software, how they do software, the coding, and mechanical. I'm a more of a practical guy. I like to do stuff with my hands. I like cars. I like to do like stuff in the cars, upgrade it, stuff like that. I couldn't find nothing more than mechatronics to be my major, to be something I feel it. It's also like I was a fan of Marvel movies. If you guys know about it, Iron Man. Iron Man was a mechanical, and actually was like there's so many parts in the movies, mechatronics, controlling, and stuff. That's all these types in mechatronics. Mechatronics also used in a manufacturing, healthcare, space exploration, and in the tools that make your life easier. Like right now, so many stuffs in mechatronics make our life easier. You can make a robot move by your hand. You can make an arm for someone who doesn't have a hand or like have a disabilities. You can make him a robot arm that can help him in his life and like his life routine. Sorry. Also, in mechatronics, um, uh, for my opinion, I think it's the new life beginning for the world. So like so many companies or so many factories that have like a toxic or a chemical diseases that can affect the human. I feel that if there is a robot can do the work of the human, can save the human life and not gonna affect him badly by like diseases or toxic in the lungs or cancer, all the stuff like that. So I feel, for my opinion, that if the robot or there is like a machine working instead of a human in toxic or chemical factories, gonna be helpful for the humanity. For my university, we have so many. We are like technical and practical university. So we have like engineering and applied science, business, information technology and computer science, biotechnology, and management of technology. NU is more like a practical university. Most of the stuff that we do it by our hands. We're not like theoretical universities like more the universities in Egypt. Uh, in our universities, we love to do our the projects by our hands. We love to create new things. Like here, as you can see in the slide, there is like a car. This car, we actually have a club in the university called RBM. It was like a race between the universities in Egypt, most the universities in Egypt, that they have a race, and this car we have to make it by our hands. You can't buy it. You can't go to anyone make a car. You have like a team, and you guys have to make the whole car by yourselves. So here, like in the club, and I was actually with them. We made this car, and we actually got the first place in the universities in Egypt. Uh, and yeah, this car also doesn't have like a motor. It's working by batteries. So we're trying to save the more like the environment. And that's actually the how the campus looked from outside. We didn't have so many pictures because like our like coronavirus and the quarantine, so nobody actually go to the campus except like engineering if they have labs. So we only go in our labs time, and the lectures we take it online. So that's why it's really empty and look really sad from outside actually. But like from inside, I wish we had so many pictures, but sadly we don't. As I told you, NU is a practical university. Here's me and my team. We were working on a solar panel, a solar tube project that we used to make filterization for water. It was like a water with sand of water or salt. We used to make a filterization for the water to make it more healthy for the people who can drink it. And we actually right now I'm working on a project for a physics class to make a solar heater for water using the solar energy. And they're still working on it, but we don't have pictures because we didn't start on the project yet. But like we started the idea. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you, guys. I'm really sorry because like I do it really fast because like I have a quiz like in another I think 30 minutes. I'm really sorry. Also, I have to leave. So if you guys have any question, you can text me or send me any message on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'm always here, and I'm also really sorry because like I have a quiz right now. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Saif, for sharing something that many may not know about, like what mechatronic is and maybe about Nile University. So thank you so much for giving us something to ponder on. Let us now welcome the next speaker, who happens to be an electrical and computer engineering student at University of Texas at Austin, Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, Ray Lee.
Hi everyone. Can you guys see my screen? I hope so.
Yes, we are.
Awesome, perfect. Okay. Good evening, guys. I think it's nighttime over there in Malaysia, but it is. Let's see what time. It is 9 a.m. here, and I woke up at 6:30. I'm outside next to the beach. I just finished school. I'm on vacation with my friends right now. They're inside sleeping, but that's why I'm wearing like sunglasses. But I'm really glad to be here. It's a great way to start off my day, listening to other guest speakers talk about their schooling experience and STEM. But yeah, oh my gosh, so sorry. My bad. But anyways, I'm the U.S. representative. My name is Ray. That is annoying. Hold on, sorry.
I think you are able to erase it.
Clear all drawings. There we go. Awesome.
Great.
So sorry about that. Anyways, yeah. So first, I'll talk a little bit about me, and then my school, what I learned, and then like the opportunities for me as an ECE major, electrical and computing engineering major, and then the future prospect for STEM and engineering, and then like I'll show you guys a little bit about my campus lifestyle, my freshman year at UT Austin, and what it was like. But yeah, so about me, I'm 18 years old. I'm Chinese American, and I live in Houston, Texas. Um, I am a second generation Chinese American. So my parents moved over from China after they graduated college like 20 years ago, in hopes of giving me and my sister a better life. Um, but yeah, I can speak Chinese. My parents showed me into Chinese school when I was really young. Um, yeah, next, I'm an ECE major. Uh, that's the abbreviation, at the UT Austin, University of Texas at Austin. And some of my hobbies are I love traveling. I love playing sports. I play a lot of basketball, a lot of volleyball. I listen to all types of music. I watch a lot of TV, so a lot of anime, K-dramas, and I like roller skating. And so you might have saw this program from Aksha, I think. This BP Global STEM Academy. It was like this month-long program in Brazil. And this is how I actually got to come talk to you guys today. So as you can see here, there's Ofa, the host of this event, and there's me, Akshat, also Renee here, she's coming up. But this is like 1 month in Brazil that I spent about STEM and like intercultural learnings, and it was really fun. This is how I met a bunch of these cool people. And so a little bit about my achievements. Honestly, don't have a lot of STEM achievements, not as much as some of the guest speakers. They are really smart. But like main thing I did in high school was orchestra. I played the cello, and so I'll have a lot of stuff for that. In high school, I would say I had a pretty good SAT score, graduated at the top of my class, um, and then got to uni. And here I actually joined a business org, Asian Business Students Association, and I worked as a corporate relations director, which meant like I talk with corporate hosts and like drag people in to come talk to our members, and then join some other orgs here. I'll talk about these later. And yeah, there's other stuff. I play a lot of video games. I'm diamond in Valorant, and there's a period of time where I ate McDonald's every day for 2 weeks, and I'm kind of proud of that. Next, UT Austin. So this is where I go to college. Here's the map of the U.S. It's right here. There's Houston, where I live. It's a 3-hour drive to Austin. Austin is the capital of Texas, just for some context. And yeah, UT Austin is a huge public research university. It's popular for engineering, which is my major, business, natural sciences, and social sciences. as you can see, it's like very diverse. A lot of Asians, a lot of Hispanics, a lot of white people, but it's honestly people from, with backgrounds from everywhere. People across the U.S., some out-of-state people, international people. It's a lot of different people on campus. It's founded in 1883 and it has over 50,000 students. So a little bit about Texas engineering. Um, it's the School of Engineering is called Cockrell School of Engineering, and it has well over 10 different fields of studies that you can choose from. Um, here is the one. Here are the ones that are top 10 nationwide or ranked top 10 nationwide. Um, so there's a lot of good stuff going on in the school. But this is my major, electrical and computer engineering, and you guys saw this on Safe's presentation. There was an ECE major there, and there's one here too. And like how it works is a combination of hardware learning and software learning, and electrical engineering and computer engineering. Basically, it's like two majors shoved into one, and it's yeah, like what I said earlier, hardware versus software. What happens is you take classes in electrical engineering, so like circuits, um, resistors and capacitors, all that good stuff, circuitry, power. And then you also take classes in computing engineering, so stuff like software design, software engineering, computer architecture, um, all that good stuff. But you take some classes in both. This is my degree plan, my flow chart. As you can see, freshman year, I took Intro to Computing. This is all the computer stuff here. Intro to Electrical Engineering, this is electrical engineering stuff. And then there's a bunch of math classes, physics, the standard stuff you need for my major. And then after your first 2 years, so you take these. After your first 2 years, you have to select a technical component. So this is kind of like declaring your major, I guess. But here's a list of the stuff that I can choose from. Here, this is the most popular one, software engineering design. This is in essence computer science right here, what Akshat is doing. But there's a lot of other stuff I can choose from. Like on the electrical engineering side, there's communications, energy systems, renewable energy, nanotech, which I think Renee is doing right now. But one thing that I think that I want to do is energy systems and renewable energy. And I'll talk a little bit more here. So basically, right now in the US is a key player in energy systems, especially in oil and gas field. And then you guys know about global warming and all the transition to cleaner energy and stuff. The US is the largest exporter of oil and gas. US companies are. We import a lot of oil and gas. We, our economy is built, especially in Texas, our economy is built on the oil and gas industry. But I think that we need to start going a lot more cleaner. And so I think it'd be really cool to ride the wave of engineers that, I guess spearhead that transition and to make renewable energy like solar panels more accessible and more cheap for everyone to use. So that's kind of what I want to do. That's the direction I'm headed. But yeah, so in my major, graduates of my major are in high demand, especially in Texas. You can see there's software and hardware developers are projected to grow 22% in the next 10 years. And also because my major is like encompasses a lot of different stuff, I have the flexibility to kind of choose which path I want to go down. So this is like you saw a similar graphic that Akshat, displayed where there's a bunch of companies hiring for CS and software design, but there's also like Tesla and solar energy world that I could, potentially go down, or GE, General Electricity, and Texas Instruments, which is like circuitry, semiconductors, microprocessors, stuff like that. Yeah, and also you guys might have heard of Silicon Valley, which is in California, like where Steve Jobs, Apple is. But Austin is now known as the Silicon Hills, which is the area in Austin and surrounding Austin that has a lot of industries like high tech, enterprise, semiconductors, research and development, video games, music development, small businesses, restaurants, a whole bunch of stuff. Austin is known for its small businesses and like really unique food spots. And I think it's a characteristic of Austin that I really love. There's a saying called "Keep Austin Weird," and basically there's stuff in Austin that you can only have in Austin, like nowhere else in the world. Yeah, As you can see, there's a lot of venture capital money invested in Austin. But yeah, okay, so on to my campus lifestyle. UT is a huge campus, even in terms of like American size, American schools. Um, this is the main icon of UT, I guess, is the tower. Sorry, let me go back. Yeah, but UT is a huge school in terms of social activity. It is a big party school. As you can see, the football games is a huge thing to do at UT. There's this website that I thought was interesting that I want to show you guys. It's like stuff to do at UT. This is a tradition I want to highlight. It's called tailgating, where people on Saturdays, on game days for football, American football that is, people will sit around in like tents, and then they'll like bring their friends and like eat barbecue and stuff and camp out, and then they'll go watch the game. And then after the game, they'll like go downtown to bars and like drink the night away, regardless if we win or lose. Um, it's a tradition that's very popular, but in Austin, I told you, there's a lot of small businesses, cafes, restaurants. We actually have a bowling alley, a lot of places to study, libraries, also a lot of facilities where you can work out and exercise and swim. And this is one thing I want to highlight is the student organizations. So I'll go back to the slides. Oh, so sorry. Oh no. 1 second. Sorry. There. Yeah, so student orgs. UT offers more than 1,100 student orgs. It is crazy how much stuff that they can think of. Some examples of the weirdest ones I've seen is like squirrel watching. We have a lot of squirrels, so there's a squirrel watching club. And there's also a turtle watching. Like in the pond, there's a turtle pond, so people go and watch the turtles for some reason. But it's a great way. I think it's the best way to actually get connected, make friend groups, because the UT, population is so big. There's a lot of stuff that, there's a lot of people that you will never meet unless you have like a similar interest. And this is what orgs are for. So for example, I grew up in a large Asian community, in the US. And so my freshman year, I sought out like big Asian centric orgs. So like Texas Asian Business Students Association. Even though I wasn't business, I still found like a place in this org, and like Society of Asian Scientists and Engineers. Also Texas Epic, which is a Asian Christian org. But yeah, this is what dorm life looked like kind of. Dorms are very popular for freshmen at UT. Um, it's very popular because it's just everything is centered around the dorm. So you have a gym right outside. There's a track, the dining hall. We have a Wendy's. I don't know. It's like an American. It's like fast food. A lot of stuff to do, and a lot of my friends are in the same dorm as me, and so that's how I got to meet a lot of them. So like we'll just crash each other's dorm. It's really fun. Yeah, these are the two gym centers that I was talking about. We have two facilities that host like a bunch of different sports, and you can come and play whenever you want. So this is me. I play a lot of volleyball. And one thing that I want to highlight is intramurals here. It's like a good way to be competitive. And so you can just form a team, sign up for a league for any sport, and you can play on any level. And it's like very fun to do. Yeah, and so a deeper insight into kind of like my classwork. This is in my class that I took recently, Intro to Embedded Systems. And it is a combination of like coding and also making physical labs. And so also, this is the engineering building that me and my roommate love to work in. So it's really nice. It has a bunch of resources for us to use. But yeah, this class is lab based. So like we have 10 labs throughout the year or throughout the semester. It builds on different stuff. Like for example, we had to do like simple circuitry and then add like LED lights and then sound converters and then LED interfaces and then like a bunch of different stuff. But this is a clip I want to show you. It's like we had to code a video game for our final project. We called it the Deep Sea Survival. And like basically you use a slide pot to move around. and then you shoot them, and if you don't shoot them, you lose. And also you can choose to do it in Spanish too, right here. And then you can like pause the game or stuff. But yeah, anyways, this is what we had to do for class. It's just like very lab based. And I think UT is very like that, where you have to do a bunch of labs and you have to do a bunch of research on your own. And honestly, I really liked it. I thought it was very hands-on, and I thought it was a perfect fit for me. But yeah, I think that was, sorry, a pretty quick run through. I'll save questions for the end, but yeah, that was my presentation. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you so much, Rayleigh, for sharing so much about the job path for electrical engineering and also computer engineering. And I hope that you are able to achieve your dreams and plans for the future as well. So, dear delegates, for the final oration, I would like to call upon Renee Garcia, an engineering student majoring in nanotechnology at Tecnológico de Monterrey, Chihuahua, Mexico.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Can you see my slides there? Yes?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Well, hi, thank you for having me. I'm Renee, I'm the representative for Mexico. So I'm gonna start talking a little bit about me. So my full name is Renee Sofia Garcia Orozco. I love nature. I'm really amazed by it. I'm really thankful for everything that it gives us, and I respect it a lot. That's why I take a lot of time into preserving it and taking care of it, as well as sharing information about how you can like take care of it. I go like to protests to like save the planet and things like that. So my hobbies include hiking and camping. I love coffee. I'm always tired, so I can fall asleep anywhere and anytime, which I think is a cool ability because I don't suffer from insomnia. I love to learn new things, and I'm a student of nanotechnology, as our MC already said. Okay, so let's start to talk about what is nanotechnology and its applications, because many of you may have not heard of it. So nanotechnology is the manipulation of material at the nanometric scale. If you see on the image on the right, 1 nanometer is the size of a molecule. So you work with manipulation of the molecules and atoms. So since an atom is like the smallest thing you can divide something into, by modifying an atom, you modify the properties of the material you're working with. So that's what nanotechnology, like in small words, it does, but it's a really broad subject. So you can focus it almost on anything because, well, the world is made of a lot of materials. So the first application, which is the one I'm interested in, why I chose the career, is environmental remediation. So it works a lot with the production of clean energy and improving like its effectiveness. It's also it's very known for use to purification of water. So water is a resource that is very scarce, so we have to take care of it, and nanotechnology is working on purifying water that has been contaminated. It has a lot of applications in the medical industry, in the food industry, like modifying the modifying like the properties of food, so maybe it can have more nutrients for less price or things like that. It has a lot of applications in the space industry, like in the materials for the rockets or in the materials that are taken to space. in the fields to make them more effective in fabrics, like in the clothes you wear, like, I don't know, making them dry fit or more aerodynamic, like for athletes. That's another application. And as Ray said, it has a lot of application in the electronics, and that has to do with quantum computers, like really fast computers that work with electrons. Well, all computers work with electrons, but well, yeah. So here are some images of the applications I talked about before. So the first one is an image of a nanotube for the treatment of cancer. The second one is an image of a flexible and effective solar panel. So it's a very small solar panel that you can like put in many places. The third one is like how the magnetic fields look around nickel particles. And this was used for the water cleaning I was talking about. So there are nanosensors that detect the magnetic fields, so they can be removed. And the final image is for the thing I was talking about, quantum computers for the teletransportation of a photon. So yeah. So nanotechnology in Mexico. It's not a very pretty landscape, I could say, but well, let's talk about it. There are only 10 universities in Mexico that offer it, which are really few compared to the amount of universities that there are in Mexico. We suffer from something called escaping of brains. I don't know if any other country calls it that way, but what it means is that researchers and engineers travel to another country to keep working on science, but don't come back. So we export to 30 to 35% of our engineers and researchers to other countries, leaving Mexico with like no development. So you can either investigate, create your own business, or teach as a nanotech graduate or graduate, yeah. You need to do a graduate degree to be able to eat like this. I mean, you have to have a master's degree or a PhD in order to be like trusted or hired by any company to do an investigation or research. So nanotechnology is very, very based on research. So yeah, since it's a very new subject, you have to have a graduate degree for you to be able to have enough knowledge to actually do something productive from it. So it's a new career here in Mexico. It's not older than 11 years. And sadly, there is no national plan for nanotech. So since there's no national plan, like a national organization or a national, something that backs it up, there are no goals for nanotech here in Mexico. So if there are no goals, there is no where to go to. So that's why many researchers prefer to go to another country to keep working on their research. So sadly for me, that's my plan. Like I plan to do my undergraduate here and then my master's and my PhD in another country. But I do plan to come back to develop what I have learned in other countries and help my country be higher in science. Okay, so now I'm gonna start talking about my university. Here are some images of my university. The first two are the labs. So depending on your career, you go to a different campus. So for example, I live in Chihuahua, which is like at the northern Mexico. But to finish my career, I have to go to another state, which is called Nuevo León. So the first lab is in Nuevo León, and the second image is a lab in Querétaro, which is more focused on robotics and mechatronics and things like that. The first one is I think chemical or biotech lab. So the third image on the upper right, it's an air view of my campus. So here are here's the stadium, here are like the classrooms, here's like there's like high school and middle school inside the campus. So it's like there's space. And here on the other side is Orion Park, which I'm gonna talk about later. This other image is a very iconic image for my university. So if you see like this mural, it's like, oh, that's Tec de Monterrey. This image is a view of the building of the labs that are here in Chihuahua. And the third one is an image of the Learning Commons, which is like a building that has, on the first floor, there are these like tables for you to work in your homework or in your school projects. And to the sides, there are a lot of computers that you can use. On the second level, there's a library. And on the third level, there are cubicles for you to work and study in silence. Okay, so my university is called Tec de Monterrey. And I divided like in 3 main subjects that it can be like, which is like most known for. The first one is entrepreneurship. Our school is very focused into building entrepreneurs. The second one is how we work in semester, which is based on challenges. And the third one, I'm gonna talk about the labs and international experiences. Okay, so entrepreneurship. We are very encouraged to do our own startups, and we are very supported to develop them. So as I said later, there's here in Chihuahua, we have a park called Orion Park, which is this weird looking building. So in this building, there are a lot of offices and mentors and people to help you from the point of creating the idea to the point of incubation of the startup. So it is really cool. It is free. So you just have to like go and say like, I have an idea, and they help you develop it and like perfection it and make it better. So here are some like of the companies that have been made by Orion Park. Some had to do with artificial intelligence, other with biotech, other with agriculture, other with cattle. So there are like a lot of areas inside this. You don't have to have like you don't have to be in a specific undergraduate to be able to work here. Actually, people from other states and outside of our university come here to work on this park because it has a lot of vinculation with many enterprises that help you work as mentors. That work as mentors for you to create a better startup. And they offer a lot of soft skills for us to be like better leaders. They encourage us to act as leaders. So yeah, that's why it's very focused on entrepreneurship. If you don't know, like many businesswomen and men here in Mexico graduate from Tec de Monterrey. Okay, so challenges. Our semester divides in 3 blocks, and each block is composed of 5 weeks. I'm sorry this is in Spanish, but I'll explain it. So the first year is like you have classes with other majors from the branch of engineering. After your 1.5 year, you start like focusing it more in your career. So in one block, we have 4 subjects, you could say. The first one is a block subject. So you divide it, each block subject has 4 subjects. It's kind of messy, but I'll explain it. For example, in this block, my block is called Analysis of Electromagnetic Systems, and is divided in electromagnetism, numeric methods, vectorial calculus, and statistics. So we have all those classes in order for us to solve the challenge of model how particles work in a mass spectrophotometer. So these challenges are supposed to like work into our problem solving skills. But it's quite harsh because they teach us a lot of subjects in very little time. So yeah, and the other 3 subjects are like complementary. So for example, I'm taking 2 chemistries and Mexican art. So the third one is one you can choose like from another career that has nothing to do with yours. So here are an image of the last subject I did, which was like to build a circuit out of lemons and get energy out of it. And I had to model the galvanic cell in MATLAB and had to do other calculations and analysis and a report lab for all of that. So that's what like our 5 weeks turnaround on. Okay, and labs and international experiences. In our school, they encourage us a lot to go on summer programs or full semesters abroad. So they have links with universities where you can go through a whole semester in Spain, Czech Republic, Italy, China, UK, Denmark, Australia, and the United States, among others. So that's really cool. Although you have to pay, but you can get like scholarships for it. And you have to have a C1 in TOEFL to be able to graduate. So that gives us like more, that opens us more doors and gives us more opportunities in order to find work abroad. And something really cool is that MIT opened a lab specialized in nanoscience and nanotechnology named after our university. So that created a link that makes us students easier for us to go to like on summer programs or internships there at MIT. Well, MIT is a university in the United States, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, which is like the #1 ranked globally in STEM matters. So student life while in pandemic, they're really, I think they have done a good job while in pandemic. They have done the best they can do. So they focus a lot on our mental health. They have this program called Te Queremos, which is like translated to "We love you," where there's like a psychologist you can call 24/7 in case you have like problems or you wanted to talk to someone. Sorry. There's less time in classes, or our classes are supposed to last 2 hours, but in online classes, they only let them last one and a half hours or 1 hour and 40 minutes. So we're not like a lot of time close to a computer. And they encourage the teachers to be more flexible in classes, so they're not really harsh at the moment of evaluating assignments or due dates or things like that. So our labs, our labs, we do mini projects at home, especially like I have done labs for a chemistry class. So they put us, they tell us to get materials that are easy to get, like in hardware stores or things like that. And so we can simulate things that we will learn on an actual lab. We have a traffic light, a traffic light for the pandemic. So depending if we're like in green, is like it's all good. If we're in red, is that don't come out of your house and things like that. So depending on the traffic light, last month we got to go to the labs. Like we got online classes, but we could do the labs in the campus. But like this last block, they closed the labs, so we have to do again the labs here at home. So all our classes are in Zoom. And something really cool that was that there have been made a lot of alliances amongst students, which is what I think has been more helpful for us, like to do study groups, do recreational activities from school clubs. So there are like school clubs for robotics, school clubs for video games and things like that. So they organize recreational activities for us to have some time apart from school. So things in demand. Most least trusted applications in nanotechnology in Mexico. So the #1 is environmental remediation. It's something really needed here in Mexico because our government is currently not supporting like cleaner energy production and really not caring about the environment. And from what I've talked, you can see that I really care about it. So I'm glad I'm not glad it's the number one like demand, but I'm glad that I'm focusing on it so I can help Mexico like be a more sustainable country. The next one is health and medicine application, which is something really needed to be developed here in Mexico, since our health system is not really great. So many people have to travel to other countries to get better medical, to have better medical care. And last is food and cosmetics. So yeah, we need a lot of multi-generational leadership and support to science development, because authorities have not been supporting a lot the science development through like to science and art and sports. So maybe through dialogue, like from the young people to the ones that are in charge of Mexico right now, we can achieve like having better achieve our goals toward a better Mexico, I could say. I forgot to talk about in this slide. Here are two organizations called CONACYT and CIMAF. CIMAF is here in Chihuahua, in my state, and CONACYT is a national organization. These two are the ones that finance the researchers and engineers in their investigations. So they are non-governmental, but thanks to them, we can like go to other countries to make investigations and researches. And that's it. I like to close with a quote from one of the researchers here in Mexico in nanotechnology that said, "The challenge is greater given that despite the regional and local potentials and the historic opportunities to participate in important technological weights, Mexico's scientific technological subordination, dependency, and delayed development are overwhelming." So that has to do with the escaping of brains and the things that we have good potential, we have good engineers, and we have a lot of talent, but we lack of support and we lack of investment from our authorities. And yeah, these are the references for my presentation. And that's it. Thank you for everything. You can contact me on that email.
That was a brilliant sharing, Renee. I hope that all the participants here in EESA International STEM Conference gain something from this presentation of yours. Thank you very much for this amazing closure. Esteemed guests, we have now reached the end of the sharing session and would like to open the floor to any queries that you may have for our distinguished panel of speakers. Do introduce yourself beforehand to make it more conducive for our panel to address you. We request that fellow participants ask questions that are related to the topic from the conference. Para peserta dibenarkan untuk bertanyakan soalan dalam bahasa Melayu dan saya akan menterjemahkan soalan anda kepada bahasa Inggeris. However, everyone is recommended to ask questions in English. You may either ask your questions using your mic by turning on your mic or in the chat.
Hi, my name is Leda. I'm from the US, and I had a general question for all the panel members, but what sort of prior experience in the view of a prospective student would you recommend for anyone going into STEM? Any characteristics or activities that you would recommend?
Thank you, Sweta, for the question. Is there any volunteers from the panel of speakers to answer Sweta's question?
Yeah, I can go ahead and take this one. Hi,
Thank
Sweta.
you, Ray.
Yeah, of course. Because I'm also from the US, I can talk about like I guess what I did that stood out to the colleges and got me into university. I think the most important thing is you want to like be doing stuff outside of class. You know, it's a very like cliche answer, but I think extracurriculars, um, especially for something that you're interested in and you want to do in college. Like for example, um, if you want to do business, try to do some business type projects or like learn something on the side. If you want to do, you know, like electronics or mechatronics, it'd be really good to have, you know, some robotics experience and stuff like that. For me, I guess the biggest thing was my study abroad STEM trip. Um, that I kind of use that a lot in my application process. Um, so yeah, I just think finding something that A interests you, B is outside of school, or and C is actually applicable to, you know, what you want to study. I think that's the most important thing. And also have you want to show who you are in your essays. Like when you write essays to your colleges, um, you don't want to make it boring. It doesn't have to be about, you know, how much you know. Um, you just have to show who you are, you know, because colleges want to take interesting students. They don't want to take just robots that are really smart and that's it. And so I guess that's my 2 cents.
I would like to add something to what Ray said, which is that the thing he said about finding something that you're really interested in. I encourage you to try a lot of things because you don't really know which one you're gonna like the most. So it's really cool, like to try different things. So maybe you like a little bit of I I like a little bit about this and I like a little bit about that. So for example, I met a student who really liked like makeup and fashion and things like that, but she really liked math and engineering. So she studied like electronics engineering, and she made like tattoos like with electronics, so you could like paste a tattoo and it will like shine. So like that you can mix from a lot of your interests, so you can really do something that you are proud of and that you don't get tired, because if you hold on to something, it's easier to keep going.
Oh, we have a question from, sorry, Pugal. Good morning, evening, from Malaysia. Where is the oil and gas industry? Where is it going to be in the future? Will it be a good industry to get into, or will renewable energies be a better choice? I think the oil and gas industry is a good industry to go into because, you know, in the next, I guess, half a century, there will always be engineers needed in that field. However, I think there's a limit with not only where you could go as, you know, like an engineer or researcher, but also your company, because you got to think about the company that you work at, right? Um, Eventually, they're going to have to do different stuff outside of oil and gas specifically. For example, I'll give a one that I think I've researched a bit. British Petroleum or BP. They're starting to do a lot with cleaner energy and reducing carbon emissions. And so like you can go into the oil and gas industry, but I think you have to expect some transitional change into renewable energy. I don't think it's very, I guess, logical to expect only doing oil and gas as a career long term. Of course you can, but I think you just have to keep an eye out for renewable energies. But both choices are good. They're great jobs.
Oh, wait,
Yeah.
I want to add to this. So since I am in the Middle East and being a part of the UAE, there is like a huge focus on the oil and gas industry. So the thing is, all of these nations in the Middle East who were highly dependent on oil for most of their income, they've started to diversify their sources of income, including the UAE. So looking at like Dubai, it was first like run by the income through oil and gas, but now they're most of their income generated is through tourism and other sectors of business. So, I mean, the oil and gas won't really go away. They won't fade because there's always industries other than like the automobile and cars that will need oil and gas and its products. But I think renewable energy is sort of the future because that's where everyone is headed. So, and I don't think the skills that you need for either of those industries are mutually exclusive. So, you don't really have to like choose one because I think the skills that you will learn will apply to both of them. So yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with either.
Okay, let me add a little bit from Malaysia. I agree with Ray and also Akshay. I mean, it's actually the oil and gas industry, like Ray said, it's very, very limited for now. And the renewable energies are actually, the industry is actually rising right now in Malaysia, although it's quite slow, but still you could actually expect some new transitions like what Ray said and also Akshat mentioned just now. So actually it's all on you, I think. I mean, you could choose. You could still do like whatever you want. It depends on what you are actually interested in. So if you're like, okay, but you have to expect some new transitions then, because in Malaysia, the renewable energy industry is actually rising. So you should expect something new instead. And this is a good choice to me.
Thank you very much for the answers. Is there any other panels of speakers that wants to add up for this question? If there's no panels of speakers willing to continue, I would like to continue with the next question from Aisha, which is from Malaysia. So the question is, how does the panels deal with challenges in studies caused by COVID-19?
Can I answer this first? I am coping with this pandemic with, well, every kind of cultural thing you can do, like these type of conferences or just reading books or listening to music, but tiny things help, I guess. And the most of the challenges are related to myself. I mean, my challenges are related to myself because the school gives us literally everything, but I am the one who doesn't really do much about it most of the time. So I am trying to stay positive, even though I just had the COVID myself. I think what you should do is to sometimes take a break, even if it feels like you're not doing anything, because you actually might need it. Yeah, that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Zainab. Is there any other speakers who would like to share their ways of facing the challenge in studies while this pandemic?
One I can think of is like finding a study group or a group of people in your class that works well. It's hard to know people like in Zoom, but you get to know them as semester goes on, but like get to know people that work kind of at the same rhythm as you or do the assignments like similar to you, so you can make them together or ask for questions, because really doing assignments alone in pandemic is really hard and really exhausting. So finding someone to back your answers on or ask questions apart from the teacher is really helpful. And also don't forget that doing things apart from school is really important, especially now. So maybe go take a walk or go to the roof of your house and take the sun for 10 minutes or find something to read. But yeah, it's something that has been said a lot throughout pandemic, like do something else, but it really helps like to focus yourself on other things other than school and not be very stressful.
Thank you, Renee, for that sharing. So I would like to continue with the next question from Nurina, and she is from Malaysia. The question is, I am actually interested in music, so I want to ask this question to Ray Lee. What is your best experience in orchestra? So I think Ray Lee, you should share something, your experience being in orchestra.
Of course, yeah. Um, so I did orchestra in middle school and high school, so like in total like 7 years. I would say my best experience would be just playing in the concerts that we have. We have around like 3 to 4, depending on the year, concerts. But like when I think back on my years of orchestra, I just really love sitting in the whole orchestra in the middle of our piece in a concert and like in front of the auditorium. And it's just really fulfilling to like I don't know, just be a part of good music, you know? And I practice very hard to be in the varsity orchestra, and that's on a level where we can play really great, famous pieces. And besides that, I think I've been able to travel to a bunch of places, like on spring trips, and a lot of my closest friends were in orchestra. So I think, I guess the community is the best thing for me. The community and just like playing in concerts and performing. So yeah, great question.
Okay, thank you really for the answer. And thank you to all for the questions. Ladies and gentlemen, we have unfortunately reached the end of our event for tonight. Participants, please scan the QR code in the slide to get the feedback form link. You must fill in this form in order to get your participation certificate. I would like to warmly thank our prestigious speakers for their generosity in both time and knowledge. Thank you too to the Rector for attending our humble program today. And many thanks to our wonderful participants for breathing life into EESA International STEM Conference 2021. I would like to extend apologies for any shortcomings from our side. Once again, thank you and Assalamu alaikum.